What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Savoy, and we're going back to Under 2024. Again, it makes sense to go through the rest of the album that I haven't heard yet while it is still very new. And the next tune is Pure as Driven Snow. I feel like there must be an irony or sarcasm lurking here. The idea in its straightforward, sincere conception is that something is pure, completely untainted by impurities, foreign bodies, and, a more physical sense. But the idea that something is uniform in its pristine and desirable qualities. So, again, given Savoy's songwriting, which, I'm no expert on, but I've heard now multiple albums of, and ultimately, hearing now songs from an album they've been working on, in the very present, then obviously I'm hearing something that is, reflective of the themes they're currently working through. Regardless, I would expect there to be something lurking here, whether a sarcasm or otherwise. So let's find out if something or someone really is pure as driven snow. Which is always a funny thing, right? Like, the driven snow is actually less pure because you're like pushing it around and it's, picking up, accumulated non-snow parts and so on. Whereas the freshly fallen snow feels like it would be more pure. But regardless, this is Savoy, Pure as Driven Snow from the 2024 album Under. I like the which, unless you're a ventriloquist, seems difficult. Get into it. You're smiling. Airy, dreamy sort of tune. I do like the idea of setting it straight, like right away. No one's pure as driven snow. But I was interested. I really enjoyed the refrains, the single word refrains, or like at most like a short phrase of, like 3 or 4 words. But yet not commendable and indefensible. I enjoyed all those retorts or replies, not even retorts, but the continuation of what like Paul's like lines were saying. So a cleverly constructed tune. Not quite clear, if there's a specific offense here, but ultimately it seems like, saying, people, they'll make bad decisions or they'll do things that are, lying to others, like deception, and ultimately those can have hurtful consequences. So Yeah, it felt, a very human tune. It's, part of the human condition is making mistakes occasionally, perhaps being dishonest, whether for strategic reasons or because, of caprice, but, ultimately I think it's the way within that framework that you operate that can make a difference. Whereas, yeah, okay, no one's pure as driven snow, but some people strive to be, and others, perhaps not so much. But yeah, ultimately, Paul sounded good on the vocals. Again, I like Lauren. I mean, it wasn't like a big singing vocal performance from her. It was more like, rhythmically hitting those spots and like turning the theme each time, or not turning it, but characterizing it better. So yeah, ultimately a cool tune. It felt shorter. I want to say definitely under 4 minutes. What are we looking at here? Under 3 minutes, under 2.5 even, or like right about 2.5, 2:31. So yeah, ultimately on the shorter side, but a cool tune in terms of the light feeling of it. Which, not to say that they haven't had some songs that feel like they're maybe a bit more, there's more at stake perhaps. Ultimately, it does feel like a number of their tunes, like, they don't feel overly like pained or heavy or designed to make you feel remorseful or something. Most of their tunes, even if they're taking a nuanced, complicated view on the way that people interact, indeed, as the case here, or as is the case here, they tend to feel positive, or at least uplifting, sonically, if nothing else. So either way, enjoying this jump forward in time. As I mentioned, we will jump back in time at the appropriate time, which feels funny. So I'll stop saying time. Either way, let me know what you think, and I will see you next